I love that. Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Ending the Gaming War podcast. I'm Stephanie Hamilton, and this is
Kara Lane, and we are moms who do not game.
No, we're here to actually end the gaming war between non-gamer and gamer and learn from one another. Kara and I would like you guys also to subscribe to our podcast. Also, we have a coaching option on our website, endingthegamingwar.org/public_HTML. And we would love to meet with you if you have any struggles with your gamer, with communication, or want to learn how to set your parental goals for your child's gaming system. We are here for you to help you, so check us out. Today we're so excited. We have the podcast Higher Score Gaming, and it's actually a ministry. And so we're going to get into this and learn more about them, and we're really excited to hear from them.
Yeah, so we want to hear from each of you, and we know that you guys are out there making a difference. So each of you go around and just tell us a little bit about yourselves, who you are, your profession, your current game that you're playing, and maybe even how you picked your gamer name. So it's a lot of things. We'll give each one of you a chance. Let's start with Oakley.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm glad to be here, and really excited to talk about gaming and how ministry has really helped me. Well, a little bit about myself. I'm in my mid-30s. I've got 3 kids and a beautiful wife, and she also games, so that's kind of fun for me. And I work in insurance. I've been in the insurance industry for a little over 11 years, working with like profit and risk. So outside of work, I love getting home and just kind of doing something exciting because I'm crunching numbers all day. And the game I'm playing, I'm kind of struggling because I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, but I've been playing a lot of racing games like Forza. So that's a good combination, I think, because you get a little bit of driving, a little bit of shooting. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Oh, and how you picked your gamer name?
Oh, my gamer name. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a weird story. I'm sure most are weird, but maybe not. Mine was something that I picked up about 10 or 11 years ago, probably around the same time I started my job. A friend of mine was into this anime series. It's a Japanese cartoon, and it's called the Full Metal Alchemist. Alchemy I'd never really heard of as a thing. I kind of knew somewhat what it was. It's nothing that I would really represent as a Christian because of what it's about. So for a long time I struggled to change my name, but because so many people came to know me, I pulled the Full Metal part out and the Alchemist part and just made it more like my actual name, Oakley, to Alchemy. So okay. I just kind of let it flow, and that's kind of where that came from.
That's cool. Got it. That's awesome. Okay, Matthew, I love your gamer name because I love donuts.
Yes,
yes. Eating a donut, or somebody was. So go ahead, buddy.
All right, cool. So my name is Matthew, or Donut Monkey, and I am a little guy that lives in Tennessee. I've got a 2-year-old, and I've been married for 5 years. For my job, I'm actually a pawnbroker. A lot of fun, and I'm playing a game called Kingdom Hearts right now. It's such a good one. I played it when I was a kid. I'm just now kind of getting back into the latest release. And I wish I had a really cool story for my username, but sadly, it was just one of those ones that you randomly generated ones. And I just kind of rolled with it for the last, oh gosh, it's got to be 12 years now.
Yeah. My youngest son decided to do that too.
You never know what you're going to come up with.
Yeah, he got Capital Mongolia,
That's way better than Donut Monkey too.
All right, and Bobby.
Oh man. So I am Bobby. I am Mad King Bob. I'm the founder of HSG, and I am a dad also with a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old. Happily married. I am a pastor and a recording artist, believe it or not, at the same time. So those are the flaming chainsaws I'm juggling. And currently I am really into Forza as well. It tends to be when you ask a whole gang of us what game we're playing, we'll often say the same thing because we're doing it that way, right? So we're all playing the same stuff. My side hustle outside of hanging with Oakley right now would probably be playing a game called Torchlight right now. I'm getting into that a little bit. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Wow. All these
And how'd you
games
pick your
that-
username?
Oh,
Yeah.
my gamer tag was, I just honestly, I had a moment where, see, I couldn't go with my user generated one because my automatic one was fondest corn. What in the world? I have no idea what that is. And everybody makes the same face that Kara made when I tell them that. So I went with that. I don't know. I used to run a Clash of Clans community for a really long time on mobile before I started doing all this. It's where I cut my teeth. And obviously there was a lot of like royalty, stuff there. And I just chose that because I felt like I was Mad King Bob sitting at the tower, trying to defend myself. So that's kind of where it started. So
I love it.
Now
I've
people
never
ask
told
me-
you this, Stephanie, but I played Clash of Clans for a while with my boys. So on mobile, yeah. I tried.
all
I
right.
got bored.
Hmm.
Anyway, so
That's
sad.
how we got my wife into gaming, was through mobile.
mobile
It
gaming.
was the gateway for her. Yeah.
The gateway drug,
I didn't say drug.
which actually will lead us right into the next beautiful question about ministry. Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, tell us like about your friendship, but because you're in season 2, it might be a little bit different, but tell us about how you got started ministry. Like, how did this get started? How did Higher Score get started?
I don't think it's that different actually, because these guys have been with me since the very jump. So I think
Okay.
they're going to still get the same awesome answer. I will tell you that the beginning of it was Prophet and T-Rex, our OG original gangster hosts, and myself, and we were playing Destiny one night, which is a very popular title as well. And we were playing Destiny, and we were in the middle of what's called a raid, which is one of those experiences. Kara, I remember listening to your TED talk and wondering what would happen if my Xbox happened to die in the middle of this raid. It would be the worst. And it was a lot of responsibility. Also something I think you referenced in the video that I got to see with you. And it was a lot of responsibility, a lot of burden, and a lot of availability. I had to pull that move that I haven't pulled since I was 7. I had to stand in front of the TV and hold my controller so I wouldn't, but it wasn't for the same reason. It wasn't because I was excited. It was because I wouldn't fall asleep. I was so tired. It was like 2 a.m. I was wiped out. And I remember there was this part where you had to grab this ball, and like, it was more of an orb, really, it was glowing and energy and electrical, all that fun gamer stuff. But you had to grab this ball and you had to take it and dunk it across the arena somewhere else while you're getting shot at, right? So everybody's running cover for you, and you're like, oh, I'm going. And I jumped and I fell asleep standing on my feet. My character jumped. I just kind of did one of these for just a second. I shook myself awake and I woke up to the fact that I had fallen down a hole and died. And we had been working on this raid for hours to get to this point. And I woke up to the sound of voices screaming. And it was people that were really legit mad that I failed. And I'm like, guys, I got a job. I got to be up in 3 hours. Like, this is not okay. I've got kids at home. Like, I've been here. I've sacrificed my whole evening. You know what I mean? And like, I just, in that moment, I actually realized, like, unless I personally take ownership, and this is the feeling that you get sometimes when you start a ministry, right? You say, unless I own this and go out of my way on purpose to make a change, nothing's going to change. Either I'm going to have to stop gaming, and I love it, so that's not going to happen, or I'm going to try to make something different. And we started in the beginning with just a few people and some tumbleweeds in our Discord server, and I found Matt and Oakley both in a Facebook group called Praise and Worship Gamers, which was really, really cool. So we all had in common that we were all praise and worship musicians, and we were gamers together. I said, hey, I'm starting this brand new thing. I'm really excited about it. Matt jumped right on. Oakley came in. But in fairness, it took Oakley a little while to come around to it. And now we can't get him to shut up about it. Well, so what was your thing like, Oak? What would you want to add to that about like what sort of made you?
Similar, Bobby. I was gaming with people that were younger a lot of times, and some of my friends I grew up with, they were the same age as I am, and going through similar things, marriage or careers or whatnot. They liked gaming, and sometimes they would, and it would be a season. But it was kind of that bond of community and kind of looking for some community to go through life with when my life's so busy. I can't always just go hang out with people who don't have kids or people who do have kids. There might be something else going on. And it was just really simple, just to pick up your headset and controller and connect like, hey, how was your day? And yeah, that Jesus loves you. So that's what really drew me into it. And I found, solace in that I really wanted to continue for myself, but to also help others feel that way.
That's cool. How about you, Matthew?
So it was a really easy transition into HSG for me. We've all been pastors at some point, I think all three of us.
Yeah.
And so, we're already gaming. We already love Jesus. So just combining the two seemed like a really natural thing for me. And the mission and the vision that Bobby gave us when HSG launched, it just really lined up with where my spirit was. And it just seemed like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to go with
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go with number 4, Kara.
Okay.
What is one thing you would want to tell non-gaming parents about gaming? What is one thing you would want to tell them? And each of you guys would like to hear your answers. So let's go with Bobby first. Bobby.
Okay, sure. You may have to call us because there's so many. I know.
I know.
We always have like a guest, right? We got
Yeah.
a whole squad here. But one thing I would love to tell non-gaming parents about gaming is that as much as I think parents are, I think there's two kinds of parents, right? That parent gamers, and I know I'm really making this binary here. I know there's a lot of gray, but
Yeah.
I think there's a parent that just wants their kids to play games so they can go away. And there's another kid who wants their kids to game because they can have fun, and that's all well and good. But like there are those different motivations in even parenting a gamer, right? And I think that if I were to tell a parent something about gaming, it's that literally there are life skills that can be learned. And I think that if you want to raise a leader in this day and age, man, gaming is a great place to get that practice. So for the parent who wants their child to go away, I would say to them, please check your heart, because like you can be a part of this experience with your child, and you may find a whole world of things that you didn't know existed. And for the parent who wants to actually develop their child, we're supposed to, you remember back in the 80s when there were parents and kids and they had to say, well, the only way they could connect with their child's development was to sit down and go over their homework. Now you can sit down on the couch, pick up another controller, and even if you suck, because you're gonna, you can still be a part of that experience if your child invites you into that experience, and if not, you can find some other game that they won't be embarrassed that their parents are playing with them. They can show offline, but they can hang out with mom and play Tetris. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter, but there is some way to connect to your child through this. And what I was saying about leadership, I know I'm a long talker. I really am. This is why I'm a podcast host. But the other thing I would just really, really want to say is that children learn fundamental social skills when you leave them alone with one another. They don't learn them when you supervise their social interactions. They really develop their core social skills when they're by themselves together. So you have to trust that sometimes, and you have to allow that sometimes. And the reason we did HSG is so that you could trust that there was a righteous experience that was available for them to try that. So at least they're surrounded with those who are, looking out for their best interest as much as possible. So that's what we endeavored to create. But yeah, I think, people are going to learn their leadership skills through running a squad and all of that. And I just think that's wonderful. They will come up being able to run a corporation because they knew how to do a Call of Duty clan. It's just how it works. This is the new homework,
Yeah, and that's what we've heard, continual. How about you, Oakley or Alchemy?
I relate from as a kid, looking at a game as this is so important and I really want to win and it's an accomplishment. And you think about that as maybe if you're not a gamer, like that's silly, it's just a game. But for that kid, anything at their time in their life when they're 2 or they're 5 or they're 8 is really important. And encouraging them to have that importance in their life is really going to build that foundation of trust with mom and dad, and then trust with, this is important to me. Thank you for taking interest. And when they get older, they're going to want to have more accomplishments. When they get to win, it's an accomplishment in their life, and they that's a good feeling. We all want some recognition from some way. My daughter's 7 and she has a game that's for learning too, ABC Mouse after she's done with school. And, she just loves doing different things to get the rewards, and it makes her feel good. So there's been ways to kind of take gaming into education. So I think that's also been important. And Bobby and I have both our oldest play together. We're in different states, almost separate in the country, and they play together and they build that social skills like he was talking about together.
Yeah, now they're pen pals.
Yeah.
They actually write each other mail letters and send them back and forth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
But they met through Fortnite, So.
There's a lot of marriages right now happening because of gaming too.
I could see that.
One the other day. All right, and Matthew, the same question to you about what you would tell non-gaming parents.
So I'm just going to piggyback off of what both of them said, because I think they just about hit everything that kind of is in my heart too. One of the biggest pieces is relatability for me. You meet your kid where they are, that gives you a common ground. And that opens up so many opportunities for you guys to talk about something that you generally wouldn't have. So I would just say, don't be afraid, like Bobby said, just to pick up the other controller and have a few minutes of just hanging out with your kid,
Yeah.
So on my TED Talk, I talked about this. The one time I did pick up the controller, it was a disaster. I could only look at the sky. I couldn't even get the right perspective in Call of Duty. And
I love
it was
it.
actually awful. So I just chose to say, at least watching their games, right? Because as moms, we go out to their soccer field or we go to their baseball game. Well, I'm not expected to get on the field and try to catch a ball back. I stopped playing catch with my son when he was about 10 because he could throw the ball so hard. And well, he's got a baseball scholarship. He can pitch in the high 80s, right? So,
Holy cow.
Yeah, so that's another thing I just want to remind parents that are listening right now. Even if you can't pick up the controller, just like I stopped playing catch with my son, I still went and saw his games.
Right.
That involvement, especially during right now when, the world is so isolated. I want to tell something quick too, Stephanie.
Yeah.
The other day I was binge watching a show for like 5 hours one night, and I was alone, binge watching Netflix. And then I was listening to my son and I'm like, oh my gosh, the whole time he was playing a game, he was passionate. I asked him who he was playing with. He was playing with our youth pastor. And he was playing with his buddies. And I'm like, I was actually kind of lonely in the living room. So everything you guys are saying is great. All right, I want to transition. This is kind of like our last hurrah of a question. On behalf of Stephanie and I, we want to thank you for what you're doing in ministry. Oftentimes our podcast, we don't really talk about our faith. We've interviewed some really amazing people, producers in the Call of Duty series. We've interviewed different people, but today, we are telling our audience, Stephanie and I are believers. We follow Jesus Christ, and we want to make a difference. And that's what this group has done with Higher Score. And so I'm going to ask you guys each this question. What is something God is teaching you right now with this ministry? And do you have an amazing story of who you've been able to minister to during this time?
Yeah.
Bobby,
Yeah.
can I start?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
For me, I really dove into HSG high school gaming ministry part more when I found that I needed it myself, because my wife and I have been serving in churches for a long time, and we took a step back. And right when COVID happened, we were transitioning from our church of 10 plus years looking for a church. So that was a really bad timing. But finding this community that was full of believers and really, to our surprise, of similar ages and do similar things, it really helped us. So we stepped in and was immediately ready, once we felt comfortable and welcome to do so, to help encourage and pray for people through Discord, which is, we're getting on a game, we're hanging out for a little bit, getting to know someone. They might share some problems they're going through, and sometimes it's teenagers or college age folks or people who are out of college and they're still single and searching, and you get to know them by playing a game, because you get to hear their real feeling about something, and they might share an experience, and then you can relate to them, and then you can just be there, be an ear, support them. And it's also taught me a lot of patience, because I've also found that gaming can be competitive. So if you're always the one who's looking to win, and someone who may not be as well at a certain game, but they want to be with you, you just got to make sure to have a little bit of balance and have patience for them. So yeah, a lot of patience and a lot of prayer has gone through this, and I've been really enjoying that.
That's cool. I love it.
That's awesome.
Okay, same question when you do one of the rest of you. What is something God is teaching you right now with this ministry? And then how have you been able to minister? Thanks, Oakley.
So I'll go ahead and I'll pick up here. So one thing that God is teaching me through this is that kind of what I was saying with the common ground, we have this ability to relate with people and to minister to somebody on a platform that's not traditional. The one specific thing that I can think of was there's a guy in our Discord. I don't want to go too much into detail because you never know who's listening, right?
Yeah.
But he's been dealing with porn addiction for a long, long time. And he didn't really have anybody in his life that he really considered close enough to have an accountability partner. So we set up Covenant Eyes, and, all of that got reported to me. And, just being able to see his progress and like being able to call him out on stuff. And then like the fact that he trusted someone enough that he had never met before, to let them call him out like that and to have that place in his life, that's one thing that I will always, cherish about HSG.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow. So I guess that leaves me. It's funny, like even as I look at the two people that are here with me today as we go into season 2, I'm just really grateful for the future of the podcast and the community, because these two folks have actually done wonders for me to help keep me accountable and keep me sustained. It's a lot of work doing this kind of stuff. We have a Discord with about 415 members in it right now. For the longest time it was 30 people. That was easy. But we have seen all sorts of things. We've got certain channels that actually help. So what I'll tell you is that most of what I'm going to share with you here about what we've seen overcome has come from, we have a channel dedicated to prayer and praises. So the rule is, if you ask for prayer and it comes through, you got to tell people that it came through too. So the good things that happen, we talk about those. The prayers that you need, we talk about those. We have seen through gaming, God use us and others to move on issues and help recover people from issues. We've seen gender identity be straightened away. We have seen suicide be just shut. We have seen financial issues be overcome. We have seen people recover fully from depression. We've seen people recover from social anxiety.
Amen.
And we have had some of our leaders today were afraid to be in a chat party at one point before, and now go on camera on our Twitch channel, on our Twitch broadcast.
Wow.
So it's just big, big stuff. We've seen marriages get better. I mean, really, really better. I mean, way better, you know, and just it's the accountability, it's the relationships. All gaming does is put people together. And if the thing that's great about this is we gathered around a mission statement and we just make sure we don't let that mission statement die. And
What
our
is it?
purpose is to build and grow a totally righteous gaming community that encourages each other in the character of Christ. That's it. So we're not a church. We don't have a doctrine. So if you ask me what happens when you die, whether we wait 1,000 years or not, I'm not going to give you an answer. I'll say seek your own church for that. But we agree on Jesus and simply Jesus. And we agree on the character of Christ because we think in a space like this, that's enough. So we've seen all of those things get solved. We get testimonials all the time. You know, I'm in another guy's Discord. He's got a YouTube channel. And he has a fan Discord for his fans of his YouTube channel. And he wrote the other day, and this is so touching. Oh my gosh, it was really special because he was like, he wrote in his announcement channel, said, guys, I'm in a whole bunch of Discords right now. If I leave your Discord, it's because I want to pick like 2 that I'm the most passionate about. And he's like, if I leave your Discord, I'm sorry, it's nothing personal. I'm just in like 100 of them. And then the next day I log in and he's just chatting it up in our chat. You know what I mean? Like he's still in HSG, and I wrote him off to the side and I'm like, dude, I saw your announcement. Like you chose to stay around. He goes, yeah, this is the most alive place I've ever been. He's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Wow.
You know?
That's so cool.
And honestly, it's just it's the dedication to the mission statement. I think we have for this group of 400 people, we have a team of double-digit leaders. You know, we don't goof around on that. It's not just we have meetings on the regular. We bring in mental health counselors to actually talk to our team on how to respond to trigger concerns. Like, you know, we know what the early stages of suicide look like, so we can make sure we're pointing people to the right direction. We know how to help coach people out of bullying situations. But yeah, so this, you know, we're working really hard, but these are the kinds of things that we're seeing overcome. So thanks for asking. Yeah.
Wow. It's so cool. I wish we had more time. Okay. Because it's so good. And I love how you guys are.
Show sometime.
I know. Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But I love how you guys think outside the box. And it's such an isolated group of people. And you guys are breaking into that and using God to break into that isolation. And it blows my mind away. I love it. I just love it.
I want to say one last thing if I can, just that we just look at the couch in your basement as a mission field too. You know what I mean? And that's really it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
and the future CEO chair, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
it's amazing.
Yes.
The couch in the basement has become the future CEO chair. That's the way I'm gonna. I just thought of that. So
yeah. Awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and end this higher score gaming. Just make sure if you want to tell your kids to join, that'd be great. In fact, I have a 17-year-old son that I'm gonna, right when he wakes up, which will be a while because he was up gaming last night late. I'm gonna tell him all about you guys. So again, check us out, Ending the Gaming War. Sign up, go to our website and sign up for coaching. This is what we're here for. Stephanie and I love to help parents communicate. We thank you guys. So you can start saying your goodbyes. And this is the end of our podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
See you guys. Thank you so much.